safer world is possible, and together we can and will make it happen. Thank you.
When you show up in community, you find that group that makes you feel like home, but oftentimes you also find yourself again.
Hello, and a warm welcome to Sussexful. I'm your host, Emma. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Sussexful for more updates and deep analysis about Harry and Meghan, the couple who chose peace over palace drama. Now, in today's video, we take a closer look at that time Prince Harry offered to return the royal titles. Yes, you heard that right. Harry has told them many times that if the titles are such a problem, they can take them back. He made that offer more than once, yet every single time he tried to handle things privately, someone within the institution ran straight to the press. Instead of respecting his honesty, they used his words as ammunition, leaking and twisting every detail to their media mouthpieces. It's a pattern we've seen again and again, where Harry's truth becomes the headline they distort for clicks and outrage. What's clear is that Harry never cared about the titles. What he cares about is his wife, his children, and their right to live in peace. He made his position clear years ago when he said he wanted nothing more than to protect his family from the same forces that destroyed his mother's peace of mind. He told them to take the titles if it makes them feel better, because he's not chasing status. He's living his life with purpose and integrity. Meanwhile, those who keep attacking him are the ones obsessed with titles, hierarchy, and control. Harry said it best through his actions. He told them to do their worst, and they did. They tried to strip his reputation, mock his choices, and discredit his family. Yet here he is, thriving, building, and proving that walking away from a toxic system is not weakness, it's strength. He doesn't owe them silence. He doesn't owe them loyalty to an institution that never protected him. All he ever asked for was respect and space. And that's something they could never give, because keeping him trapped in their narrative is their only power. But that power is fading. The world can see the truth. Harry and Meghan's life in California is proof that you can build something better when you break free from dysfunction. Titles don't define worth. Character does. So let them keep talking. Let them keep leaking. Harry already told them to do their worst. He's moved on, and that's what hurts them most. The unheard plea. Prince Harry's repeated attempts to surrender his royal titles have, honestly, become a bit of a tiresome pantomime of institutional stonewalling. The royal machinery just keeps choosing to leak conversations instead of actually addressing his direct communications. Time and again, he's explicitly offered to give up the titles, hoping, to create some distance and peace for his family. Yet, the British media and courtiers seem far more invested in dramatizing these moments than respecting his clear wishes. His message has been consistent and unambiguous. Take the titles if you want them, but please, just stop the relentless intrusion into his personal life. The irony here is absolutely palpable. Harry's genuine desire to disentangle himself from the royal web is met with strategic leaks and public speculation, which is, funnily enough, precisely the mechanism of control he's been trying to escape. Each time he extends an olive branch of separation, it gets twisted into another narrative thread for royal commentators to unravel, proving exactly why he wants out in the first place. The royal titles standoff. Prince Harry's unheeded olive branch. In a saga that really epitomizes the complex dynamics of the British royal family, Prince Harry has, time and again, extended an offer to relinquish his royal titles. a gesture that's consistently met with, well, strategic silence and media manipulation. Multiple sources confirm that Harry has directly communicated his willingness to surrender his Duke and Prince designations to the royal institution, hoping to create a clean break and, protect his family from ongoing public scrutiny. Yet, the royal machinery appears far more interested in maintaining these titles as a narrative weapon, leaking selective information to sympathetic media outlets, rather than accepting Harry's genuine proposal. This calculated approach reveals a deeper institutional resistance to Harry's attempts at autonomy, transforming his sincere offer into another point of potential conflict and public speculation, effectively keeping him tethered to a system he desperately wishes to escape. The perpetual media chess game, Harry versus the firm. In a predictable dance of institutional manipulation, the royal family has, once again, opted to weaponize their media connections rather than directly engage with Prince Harry's repeated offers to return his titles. Instead of accepting his straightforward proposal or, honestly, just communicating privately, palace sources have strategically leaked details to sympathetic journalists, ensuring maximum public spectacle and continued narrative control. This calculated move represents yet another attempt to portray Harry as the aggressor, despite his consistent messaging of wanting distance and peace for his family. The leaks serve a dual purpose: maintaining public perception that the royal institution holds the power and deliberately prolonging a conflict Harry has explicitly stated he wishes to conclude. By choosing media channels over direct communication, the royal family demonstrates an ongoing pattern of indirect confrontation that frankly seems designed to keep the tensions simmering and Harry's reputation perpetually under scrutiny. The royal standoff, Harry's defiant declaration. Prince Harry's patience has finally worn thin with the royal institution's endless machinations, reaching a boiling point where he's essentially thrown down the gauntlet. His repeated offers to return his royal titles have been met with strategic leaks and media manipulation, pushing him to a point of raw frustration. With a clear message of "do your worst," Harry has made it abundantly evident that he wants nothing more than to be left in peace with his wife and children, far from the toxic dynamics of the British royal family. The Duke seems resolute in his stance, unwilling to continue playing a game where he's perpetually cast as the antagonist, and determined to chart his own path away from the suffocating protocols and unwritten rules that have defined his life until now. The Sussex-Windsor saga, media manipulation and royal intrigue. The British media's insatiable appetite for royal drama has transformed the Sussex-Windsor conflict into a relentless narrative machine, systematically amplifying every whisper and leaked detail from within the palace walls. With surgical precision, various media outlets have strategically published insider accounts and anonymous sources' perspectives, deliberately keeping public interest perpetually stoked and Prince Harry's attempts at privacy perpetually undermined. Each leaked detail, whether concerning royal titles, family disagreements, or personal grievances, becomes another explosive fragment in a carefully orchestrated media campaign that seems designed to maintain maximum public speculation and tension. Harry's repeated requests for distance and privacy have paradoxically been met with even more invasive reporting, creating a cycle where his desire for separation becomes the very fuel for continued media scrutiny. A frustrating dynamic that underscores the complex relationship between the royal family, its internal conflicts, and the voracious British media ecosystem. The Sussex saga, a chronicle of media warfare and personal resilience. The relentless media onslaught against Prince Harry and Meghan has been nothing short of a psychological siege, systematically chipping away at their mental fortitude and familial peace. Their strategic withdrawal from the royal institution was not merely a geographical relocation, but a profound act of self-preservation, a desperate attempt to shield themselves and their children from the toxic narrative that had consumed their lives. The couple's repeated requests for privacy have been consistently undermined by strategic leaks and calculated media narratives, transforming their personal struggle into a public spectacle that seems designed to erode their sense of agency and emotional well-being. Despite the constant bombardment, Harry and Meghan have demonstrated remarkable resilience, choosing to reclaim their narrative through carefully curated platforms like their Netflix documentary and Harry's memoir, effectively turning the tables on a media ecosystem that had long treated them as disposable content. The royal titles tug-of-war, a messy Windsor saga. The ongoing royal titles drama reads like a perversely British soap opera, with Prince Harry and Meghan caught in a perpetual media crossfire about their Windsor credentials. While some royal commentators passionately argue that the couple should retain their titles as a birthright of Harry's lineage, an equally vocal contingent believes they should completely relinquish the royal nomenclature. The irony isn't lost on anyone who's been tracking this saga. Harry has repeatedly offered to hand back the titles, yet the royal machinery seems more interested in leaking strategic narratives to sympathetic media outlets than actually resolving the situation. His core message remains brutally straightforward. He wants to be left alone with his family, unburdened by the suffocating royal protocols and endless speculation. The titles have become less about heritage and more about a bizarre public performance, with Harry essentially daring the institution to do your worst while maintaining his stance of detached defiance. The Sussex Saga, A Prince's Quest for Solitude. In the relentless circus of royal reportage, Prince Harry has made it abundantly clear that his singular desire is to carve out a sanctuary of privacy for himself and his family, a wish that seems perpetually at odds with the voracious appetite of the British media and public. Despite repeated attempts to communicate his boundaries, Harry finds himself in a Sisyphean struggle against the tabloid machinery that dissects his every move, leak, and whispered intention. His explicit requests to be left alone have been met with calculated media stratagems, where royal sources and unnamed insiders continue to parse and speculate about his life, effectively rendering his pleas for discretion null and void. The irony is palpable. A man who has explicitly stated his desire for anonymity and peace is continuously thrust into the spotlight by the very institutions he seeks to escape, transforming his quest for normalcy into yet another sensational narrative that feeds the insatiable beast of royal gossip. The Royal Rift, a Monarchy in Flux. The ongoing tensions between Prince Harry and the British royal family have cast a long, uncertain shadow over the monarchy's future, creating a schism that seems increasingly difficult to bridge. With each public revelation and legal challenge, Harry has effectively drawn a line in the sand, challenging centuries-old institutional dynamics and exposing the deep-seated dysfunction within the royal system. The implications are profound, a potential generational shift that could fundamentally reshape how the monarchy perceives itself and relates to the public, especially younger generations who increasingly value transparency, individual agency, and emotional authenticity. As the royal family grapples with this unprecedented challenge, the unresolved conflict threatens to erode public trust and the very institutional legitimacy that has sustained the monarchy for generations, leaving royal watchers and the British public to wonder whether this familial rupture represents a temporary storm or a permanent transformation of the royal landscape.